them messages that made them feel there are plans to terminate their lives. So what is a threat to life? When someone says, my life is being threatened, what does that mean? And also, how serious is a verbal or written threatening to a person's life? Does it carry more weight when it is written? Or does it carry more weight when it is verbal? Or does it not matter whether it is written or verbal? Now, what is the stance of the law on making threats to one's life? All right. So is it possible to even consider that a verbal or written threat directed at a person's life is a joke? You know, I was just joking when I said we will buy you in a plane now. And then what is justice for a complainant? All right, so I will not be having this conversation alone. I will be having a legal practitioner join me for this one, Victor Barinwa. So we'll be discussing, and I would like you to also join the conversation. So head on to Facebook and let's hear from you. Get on Nigeria Info 92.3 PH and talk to us there. Also, you can tweet at Nigeria Info PH. In case you have questions, you want clarity, please do also send in those questions as well. All right. And well, of course, you can send a message via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416. I'll go on a very quick break and then connect with the barrister so that we'll have this conversation. Welcome aboard. It's the sunny side on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Do stay tuned and I'll be right back. Look at the implication of threatening someone's life. So just online, looking at of threats to life, and it's to harm, cause bodily injury or significant violent action. Barrister Victor Barinwa, you're welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome as well.
Thank you.
So, first of all, when we say person's life is being threatened, right? As a lawyer, when you hear something like that, what comes to your mind?
Okay, now, when we say a person's life is being threatened, from a legal perspective, one of the first things we must note is that there is a reasonable apprehension of fear of harm to be done on the person on his person. So the reasonable apprehension has been there from another thing. So because you see, many times people feel that threats to life is basically maybe when you say something very, you understand? But sometimes when a reasonable apprehension of fear or of harm, of imminent danger is created, and that's the reasonable answer. What the reasonable hearing word or seeing those kind of actions, take what would be infer. So the reasonable apprehension of fear of imminent harm done to this person's apprehension.
Yes, the word reasonable. What does it have reasonable apprehension? But the person who's feeling it feels that the apprehension is reasonable, but another person might not feel the same way.
That's why you use the word reasonable. Reasonable meaning that it's not subjective, you understand?
Okay.
It's not reasonable from the perspective of person issue, or even from the perspective of person being interested. It's reasonable in the sense, from the reasonable perspective, who hears the word being spoken. What's opinion? Let me give an example.
All right.
Let's just give an example. Let's say people still like king, and then they now, because of laughter, they're laughing. Someone, we shall see. You understand? Another opinion, they're quarreling. So maybe it's quarrel, or they say, don't worry, we shall see.
Okay.
You understand? The same word has been spoken, but the circumstance in possibility. You understand? So now, but again, it's not just a word. Now, I'm trying to look how that by looking at the circumstance in addition to the word spoken. Don't forget, yes, can be in form of words, it can be in writing. So someone what they do and what would be of conveying threatening words, threatening action that creates a reasonable apprehension of danger or harm. So if it is not reasonable, if it's not reasonable, it simply means that you looking at it, you cannot say that any person has been threatened here. You understand? You can't really, because if someone claims I was threatened, now someone tells you, let's say a friend says to you, someone threatened me, somebody is threatening me. The first thing you want to ask is, what did the person say? Isn't it? You want to ask, what did he say? Why are you asking what he said? Because you want to check, maybe what did he say? He told me, see my head. That was a threat now. That's just, the person is just invoking you. You understand? And even if the person says something like, we shall see. Now, that's still a bit vague. But if now you ask him, what did he say? The person say, I will kill you. You understand? And then this is now saying something like, and ask him, what did he say? He say, don't worry, I'm still in court. Now, if we shall see in court, the person is dealing with litigation, but that's not threat to life.
Okay.
You understand? Because what they are threatening to do is not legal. Do you understand?
Okay, so it's about what they are trying to do.
It is within the bounds of law. It's within the bounds of law. Yeah.
But what if what if, right, someone who so you say shall in court, and my BP went up because I'm afraid of going to court. In fact, I feel like I'm going to die if you take me to court. Yeah. So can't I say this is a threat to my life?
It's not any situation. You see, that's why we began by saying that the words or the action or the writing create a reasonable apprehension of fear. If someone threatens to take you to court, now the question is this: is taking you to court, is it a criminal offense? Is it a crime? No. So threatening to do something that in itself is not a crime cannot be a crime. Do you understand?
Right.
So if I threaten to report somebody to now, let me give an example. If I threaten to report someone to the police, now, if reporting to the police is not criminal, it's not wrong, then threatening to do that cannot also be wrong. But if I threaten to beat someone up, beating someone up itself is a crime, it's assault.
Yeah.
You understand? So threatening to do something that is criminal, you understand? That is where it becomes an offense.
All right,
threatening to sue you. So let me put it simply like this.
Okay.
A threat does not become a crime unless what is being threatened to be done itself is a crime.
Oh.
So the thing I'm threatening to do should be a crime. Then the threat to do that thing then becomes a crime. So general threats generally are not criminal. It is what you threaten to do. So threatening to kill someone, threatening to wound, threatening to maim, threatening to cause harm, threatening to destroy things that belong to them. Because if you're threatening the commission of a crime, that is the reason the threat itself then becomes a crime. Because the threat is attached to criminal action. The threat is like a promise of criminal activity. Promise to inflict harm, to inflict danger, to cause harm. That creates a reasonable apprehension of fear.
Okay. So what if
yes,
someone
exactly.
says in the heat of an argument, and then the person says, see, the day I will snap, the day I will snap, is that a threat to a person's life?
Now, that's why we started by using the word reasonable apprehension of fear. Now, it usually, if we want to examine whether it is a statement, it's a threat to your life, to life of to the life of any person, we would have to look at the surrounding circumstances.
Okay.
We would have to look at the word. We look at the word in context. Now, if, let's say, someone says, "Yeah, we snap," that is where I will lose it. Now, that's a bit vague. So, in my estimation, that does not amount to threat yet. But if someone carried a machete to me and said, "Yeah, we snap," the context has changed.
Okay.
The context has changed. So, we look at all the circumstances have to be taken together. All the circumstances have to be taken together. Then it is on the basis of this we will now analyze and check as to whether there is a threat your life has been threatened. Now, it's not just a threat to your life. Sometimes there are threats to do some other things. So, yes, sometimes people could actually threaten to release videos, threaten to release content, which is actually blackmail. And people could threaten to do a lot of things. Maybe not necessarily threatening life, but they can be threatening maybe some other person close to you. The idea is to occasion harm, to inflict harm. All of those. So it all falls under, of course, definitely that threatening life.
Okay, so let's look at the stance of the law on making a threat to someone's life. So, what does the law in Nigeria say to that effect?
Okay, now, it's well defined. Threat to life is actually well defined. Now, by the criminal code, we actually have different provisions in the criminal code.
All right.
That talks about different kinds of threats. Now, the criminal code actually makes clear explanations. It gives the different species of threats that you can actually issue against a person. For example, you have section 323 that talks about threats by written notes.
Okay.
You have section 310. Now, for example, one of the very interesting sections of the criminal code, that's section 310, that talks about causing death by threat. Now, one of section says that if you threaten a person, and on account of the threat that you made against that person now does something or fails to do something which will result in the loss of that person's life. In law, you are presumed to have killed that person.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you are presumed to have killed that person.
Okay, hold on. Let's, because I need us to really understand. So someone is supposed to take their medicine at a certain time of the day, and because of whatever it is I said, and the person chooses not to take their drug, and then they have crisis and they die, I have a hand in their death? Now, your example, now, there are lots of things in this example.
Okay. There are lots of things in this example. Let's put it this way. Let me put it this way. Let's say an armed man actually comes into, let's say, a secondary building with a gun and threatens to shoot someone. And out of fear, the person runs and jumps the window.
Okay.
And now jumps the window and falls down again. That person, by virtue of section 310, that person that issued that threat is actually guilty of having murdered that person. You're presumed to have killed that person because your threat actually caused that person to take an action they ordinarily would not have taken if not for your threat. If not for the threat. So now there are lots of scenarios that can come on that. But the general principle is that when you threaten someone, and because of your threat, the person does something or fails to do something that results in the loss of their life, that itself amounts to a threat. And you are presumed to have actually killed that person. Now, you also have, by virtue of section 408, you have attempts at extortion. 407 talks about demanding property by written threat. And that one itself is a felony. Maybe you're demanding that someone do something, like if you don't do this, this will happen, that will happen, this will happen, that will happen. And you threaten either you threaten injury, you threaten whatever it is. Now, if you don't give me this document, I'll do it if you don't do this. I'll do it if you don't do that. If you don't give me, I'll do this and that. If you don't give me that thing. that itself is a felony, and you're liable to 14 years imprisonment.
Is that not just? Is that not merely intimidation?
Now, in threat itself is now that there's difference between the English and the law. You might call it intimidation, but what you threaten to harm or to cause harm on somebody, as far as the law is concerned, that itself, because we don't have to wait until you carry out the intention. You see, now, murder, for example, is a criminal offense which is punishable by death. Sentence to death. Now, when you threaten, you threaten to actually commit it. That in itself is a crime. Because the act itself is a crime. So the threat to commit an act that is a crime itself is a crime.
Wow.
So it's felony. It's a criminal. You can just threaten people. So when I can call it intimidation, I call it intimidation, I call it offense. But what am I threatening to commit crime? Threatening to either cause harm, cause danger, even threatening to extorting by. You understand? So trying to collect money, saying you want to collect money from somebody, and threatening to do something is a criminal offense.
Hold on, wait. She has owed me money over 2 years now, and I've been nice about it. He's not calling forth. So I say, if you don't give me this money by the end of the month, I will send the boys to come and beat you.
Okay, now.
I'm not sending anybody. I'm just talking so that at least you win my money.
Because you're creating this new pressure.
It's your money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Now, the question, yes, I agree. How, the question is, what does the law buy for any person? Someone is indebted to you. Now, yes, you lend to someone, you've done your best, the person is not paying him back. The question is, what are the options happening to you? You need the act of the law. You don't take the law to do that. You're not allowed to. Self-help is not allowed. Self-help is not permitted. You're supposed to take the lawful action, which is file a case, debt recovery action, recover your debt, find money. But what does not allow? Threatening to keep up, threatening to assault, threatening to batter, threatening to inflict violence.
But Victor, we need to go on a commercial break when we can continue the conversation. The legal implication to that. Stay tuned. So we're discussing threats. I shared the story. It's one of the is that the husband of the road officer in Takot University State, Amalu Briggs, says his wife only is receiving threats. Now, he said his wife is being threatened for refusing to come to the presidential elections. Now, something else he mentioned is that unidentified persons have been spotted around their home. The election. All right, and of course, the guest, Barrister Prince Victor Barino, he is still on the telephone. All right, so Barrister Prince, so since we're talking about reasonable apprehension on the party that way, and someone else's behavior, because threatening behavior is part of what constitutes a threat to a person's life. Behavior. Now, with what I mentioned as things that they noticed, he said unidentified persons have been spotted around their home. So someone showing up in an environment, I'm just walking around an environment, threatening his life. That alone be enough to say that person, your presence, your walk around this neighborhood is threatening my life.
Okay. Now, let's put it. Just the way we do that. What amounts to life? You have to take into consideration all of that and everything, so you can actually come to a conclusion whether it is reasonable appearance by virtue of that action. Now, now they spoke about something.
Barrister Prince, I'm sorry to cut. We'll have to break.
Talk radio.
So before I went on that news break, so you were trying to explain what threatening behavior is really.
Yes. Okay. So I was trying to establish something because the example you gave and you spoke about, not an example like the incident you made reference to, where they were noticing, they were observing suspicious movements around their home. They have been observing some strange unknown persons around their home. Now, of course, ordinarily, generally, we are actually encourage security function. And one of the things we always get in maybe police jingles, police notices, is that you should report every suspicious movement you notice. Usually, like persons who are not known, especially because most times in the neighborhood, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's familiar with everybody. At least their faces. So when you repeatedly see strange faces you've never seen before, who seem not to be heading in any particular direction, they don't seem to be going forward, they don't seem to be going. That itself alone doesn't necessarily mean that they've committed a crime or what has happened is that there is a reasonable opportunity for suspicion. If their activities, their movements is creating reasonable suspicion, and you are actually entitled to actually report to the police authorities when you notice that you're beginning to observe suspicious movements, suspicious actions, loitering, and all of that kind of movement. But that in itself, without more, does not amount to a threat to your life.
Okay.
So you see, so just movement around your home without more, doesn't mean your life is being threatened. But it can actually create a reasonable apprehension of that's suspicious. Like it's suspicious activity. So you know what suspicion is? Suspicion means there is a probability that a crime is about to be committed, and there's a probability that a crime is not being committed.
But
so
then, but hold on,
okay.
Sorry. But someone says something. The person is not necessarily killing you. He just said something that amounted to the reasonable apprehension.
Okay.
So the person has not even hit you, assaulted you, but the person just said it. It's not the same thing here.
Yeah, many times the essence of the law, why the motive, the reason for having criminal laws is not just to punish for crime, but to discourage the commission of crime.
Okay.
You see, it's not just to punish the commission of crime, but it's also to deter and to discourage the commission of criminal offense.
All right.
So, threatening to commit a crime itself is a crime, as defined by our laws. It's a criminal offense. So it is better to stop threatening people, stop threatening to inflict harm, to do this or to harm people, or to inflict violence or harm on that person. Because it's clear that it's a crime, it's a criminal offense. And we can't change that. There's nothing we can do to change that position. It's already the position of the law. And it's actually, like I explained earlier, it actually makes sense. Because the aim is to discourage people from the because we can't wait until the man carries out. For example, someone threatens to kill. Now, just like the man who is already receiving death threats, somebody is threatening to kill. Assuming one of those persons who are actually threatening that can be found, they'll be punished. They have to be punished.
Okay,
because
so
if you wait for them to carry out their intentions, somebody is dead already.
Interesting. All right, so I'm looking at a message here. This person says, let me see. The person says, for me, and I speak from African culture, when someone tells you, you shall see, after a heated argument, we already know what that means. Playing by the law book is like watching a snake circle your window, waiting for it to enter your house before taking action. Let's stop deceiving ourselves, as this is just loopholes the law can never capture. Tony sent that message. All right, so based on this person's message here, when someone comes to seek redress in courts, right, or someone decides to take up this matter of life or threats to their life, the law as it is in Nigeria now, all right, can the person get justice?
I didn't get that. Sorry, I didn't get that.
Can someone whose life is being threatened get justice? Especially if they are able to find out the person who has been sending the threat messages or the person who made the verbal threats.
Yes, of course. You can get justice. You can. Definitely you can get justice. Why not? You can get justice.
And matters like this, how often do we have people report matters like this?
You get people report you'll be surprised. People report matters every day. If you go to maybe the city, most of the
sorry, could you say that again? Your line was breaking. You said people report these matters every day.
Yes, clear now?
You're clearer now.
Am I clear now?
Yes.
Okay. I said if you go to the police station or you go to the police, you realize that most of the reports people make, it's not just that a crime has been committed, but it is that a crime is being threatened. So people actually report, and you may getting convictions. People will get convicted for this kind of thing. But the thing is, provided you actually have clear proof of that threat. So let people not feel like, don't worry, just talk, nothing will happen.
So when you say clear proof, how can I get a clear proof?
Now, if someone actually makes a threat, let's say someone sends you a text message threatening to cause harm or to inflict harm or danger of some sort on you, you pick that text message. Maybe someone is threatening to do something to you on phone. You record the conversation. Like, just have something to show. Have something to show.
What if I have someone else who comes in as a witness to say, yes, I was there the day he was threatening?
Fine. That's
okay.
Still fine. That's still okay. That's still okay. As long as you have a way of proving that someone actually will make threatening statements or will take threatening actions against you, that's all that's needed. So it's not like maybe you can't get judged. People are disillusioned with the system. People believe the system does not work. Either that the system is slow, and many of people's challenges in the system, I won't say it's unfounded. Some of them are founded, but the truth is, you can get justice. You can't get justice. If you can get justice, that's the truth. You can.
Okay, well, let's get to the phone lines now. We're discussing the legal implication of threatening someone's life. All right? If you have any questions, please do well to calling. And for you, do you think that a threat to someone's life, someone making threats verbally or written, perhaps via text or text messages, right? Do you think it's something that anybody should take to heart? It's just a threat. The person is just talking. Do you think someone should go as far as seeking legal redress because of verbal or written or any behavior that seems to be threatening their life? Let's talk. 070-0923-0923, 070-0923-0923. And then, of course, you can send a message via WhatsApp to 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Soke Fubara from Port Harcourt says, this incident is not new amongst Nigerians. No threats should be taken for granted, be it verbal or written or gesticulations that depict threats. We should be cautious in our conduct. All right, thank you much, Soke Fubara. And then on Facebook, this says that father-eyed woman that refused to compromise should not be threatened, but rather be celebrated in River State and Nigeria at large, because she has done the right thing for our future generation to emanate. I pray that God Almighty will protect. All right, let's get to the phone lines now. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Silvano Sanga.
I can barely hear you. Can you please speak louder?
Yeah, my name is Silvano Sanga.
Silvanos. Ooh, that happened. Silvanos, please do well to call back. 070-0923. 0923 0923. How serious is a threat to someone's life? All right, how serious should a person take, whether verbal, written, behavioral threats or threatenings? Should someone go as far as taking it to court? What if it's a joke and you're the one who is taking it out of context? Hello?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon, rather. My name is Lawson. I'm calling from Shoba.
All right, Lawson, please go on.
Yes. Pertaining that allegation you're talking about, it is right for someone to report to the appropriate authority and the rest. Yeah, I think so, because if I should remember, in my working place, two guys were quarreling, and one said, "Don't worry, I will show you. You will see." Would you believe it? The next day, let's just say next 3 days, the other guy died. So I think sometimes.
But did he do anything physically to him?
No, not really physically. But we didn't see anything physically, actually. But in 3 days' time, we heard that he's late, as in he's dead. I said, are you sure it's not this particular thread that made this other man to swim this? So it's very important for one to, report to the appropriate authority in terms of verbal threats. It's very important.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. All right, Barrister Prince. So here I'm thinking,
Yes.
Can a verbal or written threat to a person's life be considered a joke? Like, you're the one who's feeling apprehension. And I'm saying, I was just joking. Yes, I kept a straight face, but come on. I was joking. Look at me now. Can I do something to anybody? I'm just joking.
Okay, now, first of all, let me start by saying that, we said earlier that in checking whether, coming to the conclusion of whether a statement is threat, we look at all the circumstances. You understand? We look at everything, all the circumstances surrounding what the person said.
Yeah.
It's not just, we're not going to take the word in isolation as the surrounding circumstances. We'll look at everything. Let me give an example. Let's say someone doing a comedian, a joke, and you know what I'll do. Now, the statement itself is a threat to the person's life. But when you look at the person, the surrounding circumstance tends to whittle down or do the threat. But even at that, that's happening. And very important for people to joke around. You don't make jokes with threats. You don't joke with people's lives. You can joke with something else. Why don't you joke with some other thing? Why do you joke with killing somebody? Why do you joke with harming them? Why you understand? So you have the right. People interpret what you say from different perspectives.
Yeah.
They interpret it from their own unique experience. They stuff like that, and they actually carry that stress because the person was joking. The person carried it out. So there are people who we know don't have the sense of humor. They don't take jokes as jokes.
Yeah.
Maybe they could actually they could consider other things you said. Maybe, but there's some things you say. Even if it's a joke, they don't consider it a joke at all. They take it very seriously because they've had some experience in the past that they don't want to repeat at all. So it's advisable to don't joke around sensitive things. Don't joke around sensitive things. Even away from friends, for example, even if you have a very good friend, now, even when we're joking with them, we don't joke, for example, around their appearance. Maybe you have a friend who's on the side, you don't joke with their weight. Unless you're very, very short, it's a very secure person who doesn't mind.
Yeah.
You don't joke around their weight. Maybe their children have a disability. You don't joke with the children's disability, even though it's a joke. That would be an expensive joke. So you don't joke around people's lives. You don't joke with violence. You don't joke with threats. Like I'll send boys who beat the hell out of you. You understand? Now maybe what if you were joking and then someone takes advantage of what you said and carries it out? That's another perspective lots of people don't think about because opportunities are waiting, looking for the perfect opportunity to issue. So they wait for someone to issue a threat and they take advantage and then they carry it out. Not the person who even issued the threat. So it's not wise at all. It's not even wise. Let's living whether, can't I joke? It's not even wise at all to joke with violence or to joke with, to make threats and say you were joking. You don't joke with threats.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wise. It's not proper.
Okay,
So
now let's
joke with something else.
All right, let's look at what the caller said about a colleague who threatened the other and the person died, and there was no proof of any physical attack on him, but he said the man died. So let's talk about the supernatural, right? So someone, because I did not necessarily say you will see, but I snapped my finger at you or at the person. And then after a few days, the person's legs get swollen. And then people are looking at me like, what you don't do? And then someone now decides to take me to court. And they're saying I snapped my finger and the next thing the person's legs are swollen. So how can you now prove that I did anything? People know they snap finger again.
Exactly. Your question is not new. It's not new because let me start by saying that the law concerns itself is that which can be proven by credible evidence. Not the law does not concern itself with superstition. The law does not concern itself with what we call the paranormal.
Okay.
Let me use the word the paranormal. I don't want to use the word spiritual. The spiritual, the paranormal. Because the law is basically about evidence. The law, the fact, and the law. The fact, what does the law say? What happened? So if something is spiritual, there is no way you can actually use credible evidence. There is no evidence. There is no evidence. There is no way to prove. There is no way to conclude. There is no way to find out as to whether something has been done.
So you can't get another, maybe a spiritual person that is trusted to come and prove.
No. The law does not deal with spirit. The law does not deal with speculation. The law does not deal with suspicion. The law does not deal with spiritual phenomena. The problem with spiritual phenomena is there's no, just the example you gave. Somebody snaps his finger, somebody else died. Logically speaking, now, medically speaking, can the snap of a finger be remotely or immediately, is it an actually physically, medically result in the death of another person? That's what the law is concerned with. If no, you cannot be convicted.
Oh, wow.
So someone snapping the finger or someone tying red wrapper on their head. But now, I'll say something else after I've said what I said. So, spiritual phenomena cannot be proved in evidence. You cannot lead evidence to prove them. They remain clearly in the realm of speculation. Now, I'm speaking legally now. I'm not saying they don't exist. But the problem is that there is no way of proving them. Someone took an egg and broke the egg, and somebody else in another died. How do you establish a link between the broken egg and the death of that person? Because medically, the only way to check, to ascertain the cause of the death of a person is by conducting an autopsy. So if they conduct an autopsy, the doctor's response to say, oh, this person died of heart attack, or this person died of acute sickness, they died of disease, they died of cardiac failure. There will always be a medical explanation. So if medically speaking, we cannot connect the death of someone to an action, then you can never get a conviction. Because the law does not recognize spiritual phenomena. The law does not recognize paranormal phenomena. The law does not recognize abstract events. The law only concerns itself with what can be proved in evidence before a court of law. And spiritual activities cannot be proved in evidence. That is not to say they do not exist, but that they cannot be proved in evidence. But however, the law, witchcraft is a crime.
All right. I was also going to ask
you
that.
Yes. So, for example, trial by ordeal, trying to, where you're trying to prove something. So, you subject people to witchcraft procedures, maybe drinking blood, asking them to jump over fire, subjecting them to those things. Those are criminals.
Okay.
Those ones are criminals. Trial by abuse, threatening someone's life, even by doing death, is still a criminal offense.
What of taking someone to a shrine to swear that they did not do what you're accusing them of doing?
That's a criminal offense. That in itself is a criminal offense.
But okay, what if I take the person to church to come and stand before the altar and swear that you did not steal my money?
Okay. Now,
before you answer that, let's take this call. Hello. Oh wow.
Okay.
We lost the call. All right, go ahead.
Okay, now taking someone to a church where whether they committed. Now, the law does not make any clear provision on whether someone can actually go to court if you go to church. The law is silent on that. So the law is silent. There is no provision of the criminal code that makes swearing in church a criminal offense.
Wow.
So, but subjecting someone to it's called trial by ordeal, and the criminal code exhaustively mentions it. So generally, now let's say two people who are subject to traditional. Let me vary a bit of what I said earlier. Let's say people are there and they swear, that general which no, they are not compelled. And just to affirm that no, I did not do it. But you see, that one itself becomes a crime. But you see where, because there are people who actually practice African traditional religion, that they are adherents of the religion. But you see where people are compelled or forced to swear an oath before a day by an act or by a ritual, by an action, which can either involve jumping over fire.
All right, Barrister, let's go on another commercial break. Hold on.
You are tuned in.
So we're still discussing the legal implication of threatening someone's life. And now we're discussing oath taking. And Barrister Prince is talking to us about that. So you were saying something about someone to come and swear that they did not steal yam or they did not siphon funds meant for a group of people. You're saying that that's compulsion is a crime.
Yes, okay. So yes, so we're talking about the trial by order as contained in the criminal code, where people are subjected to the trial. Instead, they are subject to ritual process of just to prove their innocence. Many times, which are named very in nature.
Hello, Barrister Prince. You will have to say that again. Your line was breaking.
Okay, is this better?
I guess so. Go on.
Is this better? Please?
Yes, this is better. Go on.
Okay, I was talking about some situations where people are actually compelled to prove their innocence by a traditional trial which involves juju or witchcraft, and by a process that's usually inhuman or not humane. Sometimes you see people are tried by a crocodile. Some people are tried by chaining them to, they keep them in a dark room for a number of days. Sometimes people they put a broom around the neck, they play broom and drag the broom. All of those things are criminal. And they're actually criminal offense. To subject any person to a trial by ordeal to prove their innocence, it's called trial by ordeal.
Okay.
Subjecting it to an inhuman process, either by a ritual or by disease, called just to prove their innocence. That is just criminal. But these people who are traditional worshippers, who are subject to, let's say, the traditional worshippers who are subject to the traditional institution, decide of their own volition, and they want to swear by their deity they're innocent. That is in itself not a criminal offense.
All right.
If it includes an ordeal or an inhumane practice, even if they consented, it's a crime. If somebody else reports it, all of them and people facilitating that can be arrested.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right. A message here. This person says, "Good afternoon, Constance Mega. No threat should be taken for granted or considered as a joke because life itself doesn't have duplicate. There was a man that threatened to deal with his brother openly, and that his brother that he threatened died the next week, and the person that threatened him was arrested, but after investigation he was innocent. It was somebody else that was there that killed him because he borrowed money from him and didn't want to pay back." Round Face from Rumekini sent us that message. All right, and this one on Facebook. Okay, while I'm still trying to get these messages on Facebook, let's. I want you to talk about what justice is for a complainant, for someone who has said, "My life is being threatened." What is justice for that person? Before you answer, let's see if we can have this call. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, please?
My name is Christiana, calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Christiana, you're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so I was listening to the show and I felt like contributing to the discussion.
All right, go on.
Okay, so talking about threatening someone verbally or in other areas, I think for those of us who are Christians, the Bible makes us to understand that out of the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So before anybody would threaten you by words or any other means, I think that person may at some point be nothing some ideas, maybe issues and all of that. Even if there is none, sometimes by merely mentioning those threatening words could send messages to the mind of that individual. And sometimes we humans were really stubborn to an extent. Even when you don't want to carry out those threats, the human part of you and the ego aspect of every human would want to, do something and feel that I can really do this. So I think for any reason you are threatened in whatsoever form, you need to go to the authorities to prevent the unforeseen, I believe so. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Christiana. Good afternoon, Constance. I don't think that threat over someone's life is a joke. You, the threatener, may take it as a joke, but the threatened will see it from a different angle. Example, I have seen a situation where a man threatened a friend of his that he will hear from him. Not up to a month, the person he threatened got killed, and he was not responsible for it, but he was arrested. I'm Mr. Two Gist. All right. Thank you, Mr. Two Gist. Let me see what we have here. Okay, on WhatsApp. Good afternoon, Constance. Okay, I've already read this particular message. All right, so Barrister Barinwa, what is justice for a person who has been threatened? Hello? You there? Hello? Okay, that happened. Interesting stuff. All right. Well, let's I think I'm going to have to reconnect so that we can quickly wrap up. All right. So threatening a person's life. I like the part where he said, look for something else. Since you like to tell jokes, since you have such a great sense of humor, how about you use something else to make your joke? Why would you make a joke threatening someone's life? Why would someone's life be the center of your joke? Or someone's disability? Why should that happen? All right. So I'll read your messages anyway. You can send them. I'll still take them. So let me quickly go on a break and see if I can reconnect with the barrister. Just stay tuned.